Hello, the game has started and it's me to go first. I have the X for score. I have pixes. Not seeing a way to get the X to play on either of these double letter squares. So I think I'll go with pixes here for 34. Yeah, I think that's fine. Not a great pickup. The two O's. Could have done with an E, I guess. If I can get rid of the V and an O, which I can to good effect, I think I'll be on track to bingo next turn. 41 for Vor. This is pretty close to a bingo, I'd say. No floaters really on the board to utilize. Okay, now there is a U and a T. The T not so useful. The E could be useful, but I don't have anything that plays above O, H, L, and Y. Now, what about the U? Turdions, yes, that'll work. What about the C? Not seeing anything through the C. What about the T? Okay, I'm going with Turdions because I don't see another bingo. And a pretty good pickup. I'm rewarded with the first of the two blanks. I have Shireman from the S. Opponent scores well with Hoving for 34. Shireman. That's an 89-point bingo. The only better bingo would be a 4-timer from K5 down to K11. And I don't think it would have to start with two vowels. No, not seeing it. Shireman for 89. Not a bad pickup. Baloney. Does that play anywhere? Not currently, I don't think. No front hooks for pixes. Opponent does bingo. Straight back. And doesn't create a spot for baloney. Retailed doesn't have a front hook. I have the bone component of a word. Now there is a D here. I have Barney, which would score fairly well. And I do have Boney here. That's a 36-point play. What about just something like Bay? That's 32. Does create a Z hotspot. Just want to make sure. I've got the able ending, but yon doesn't really suit the rack for able endings. VY, what about a VY ending? OV, no. Okay, so I've got to make a decision here. And I wonder about barley. That's 34. Does give back fairly easy score to opponent. What was the other one? Bony. Yeah, I might go with Bony. 36. Not great. Duplicate F and duplicate A. Opponent plays hose in the top right. Now I do have, I was going to say fad, but debt is no good. And I've got F. This might be worth doing. Orphan F, 36. Draw the Z. That's always a welcome sight and some decent flexibility to go with it. Diazo, for example. 40-point play. Opponent playing fairly quickly. Diazo looks like a contender. What about a Z play ending in B? Zombie doesn't work. Zimb, that's quite nice. 51, I'll go with that. Now I draw the W and still some decent flexibility. Callowed, possibly through another L, but not sure about that one. Opponent dumps the Q. Now what about Woad? Just to kind of close down this lane a little bit. But there might be a compound word through this N, for example. Candle, no. Or a con word, conlord, no. Condelor, no. That N definitely looks like it helps this rack, I have to say. Down, or down, downlace, no. Now Orphe, does that take a D? Orphade, no. It takes an S though. I might go with Woad. 18 vowels, plenty of vowels to come, so 30 points for Woad. Now, this is looking fairly close to bingo territory. Opponent bingo, Sangaree. I've got the able ending. Coonable, no. Countable through a O and a T. That's not happening. Well, there is a T and an I, but that's not quite what I need. What about I've almost got banal, B-A-N-A-L, that would have worked. I think baculine might be a word. Baculine through an I. Just a pity this T is in the way. That would have been a nice spot. Now there's a J hotspot here which I don't like. I might just play bun here. Aboon. Or what about just bun? Yeah, that takes out the hotspot because that could be a big play there. Oracle. And that does play as a 4-timer. Wow. That's a monster 93-point play. It doesn't quite fit next to the W. Reticular through the T, but again, that's not going to fit. I have a feeling Oracle is going to be blocked. What's the alternative? What about from the R? Corkia through a K. That's not happening. What about IC ending words? Oracle remains available. Beautiful. 93 points. Having said that, the J is likely to come back for about 50, but it's worth the risk. I draw the J, look at that. So I do have Jut, and yeah, probably a few other J plays around the board. Opponent does have the second blank, or if he doesn't have it now, he's likely to pick it up on his final rack. But I think I've got enough of a lead to outrun him. Egypt from an E. I have Jai. Gets rid of 2 vowels and then go out with Etui. Bun takes a T. Allotted. Okay, opponent gets a bingo down there. Now I don't have Jai, but I have Jeet. That looks quite nice. Definitely not going out in 2, but for 46 points, I'm going to go with this. Jeet. Now opponent has POG blank. He'll almost certainly be going out. I Gapo from the I, for example. Or maybe across the top here. OP. Pogo stick. POGO. Sangarees, no, there's nothing there. He can't really get action off this triple letter square. Pogo stick, yeah, he goes out with that. And that's the end of the game, 557 to 405. Let's see what we missed. Back to the beginning of the game. And, oh, okay. So Pix's 34 highest score, but not the highest equity score. So Vex being suggested as a better, much better rack leave. Hence the extra 5 equity points between the two. But in the grand scheme of things, not a massive difference. Opponent's got consonant heavy rack. He has wok for 31, cow for 38. Good score across the top. And that gives me vor for 41, which looks fine. Vostro also available, but I'd rather hang on to that rack. And as you can see, a fair bit more equity, 7 points. Opponent now has a couple of vowels, but still consonant heavy, goes with cutter, and that gives me Turdion's. Sternoid was the other bingo, but Turdion scored more. And then opponent's got Hoving for 34, best score available. Okay, so there were a few here. Shearman and Shoreman and Shireman. So a lot of 89-point bingos there. Then opponents got retailed for 68, had Elatorid for 72 from 12H, from the E and then getting the D doubled. Goes with retailed, and then Boney for 36 looks fine. Hose for 25 was best from this rack. And then F for 36 was best from this position. Opponent then has a 38-point play, playing yes at 14A. Ah, yes, that's quite nice. Goes with Yi, keeping back the S. And now I have Zimb for 51. And I pulled the trigger fairly swiftly on that one, as I didn't see many better options available. Now, Chi for 10, just get rid of the Q, and the rest of the rack pretty strong. Yeah, that's a good 6-letter leave. Woad for 30, but cowled at B4. Getting the W tripled, I quite like that. Also taking out the bingo lane, because Woad still provided a bingo lane from C1 down to C7. So I do quite like cowled. And with that other blank still to come, the tile turnover does increase your chances of drawing it. So 2 good bits of two good strategic aspects to cowled. I like that. Now opponent's got Sangaree, nice find, the only bingo playable from this rack on this board. And then unable at A1. Oh, that's quite nice, getting the B doubled and playing U. And Kubain also a 38-point play from A1 down. Yeah, I was unable to find the top play this particular turn, but I thought taking out the J hotspot might also be a good idea. For example, a play of Jured, Jured, or what are the other ones? Junto, Junto, could have been a massive 70-point play. Yeah, I just thought it'd take out the hotspot while you can. Also, it took out the floating E's and R for bingos coming down onto these floaters. So there was some merit to Bun. Dough line for 29 Indol. Yep, no bingos here, although very close. And I wonder if opponent would have had a bingo onto the E or R. Maybe not. Entoiled, but yeah, I don't think ending in an E. So in comes down, Oracle for 93, also playable at K6, one square down, but obviously the 4-timer standing out as the optimal play. Allotted for 68 comes down through the T, and then I have Jeet for 46, but Jat for 57. I did identify that earlier, and for some reason I played across the top of allotted. Oh, because it got rid of one extra tile, and I could see opponent was going out. But even on the balance of it, Jat would have been better. Yeah, so I should have played Jat. And then opponent had Igapo for 27, was the top score, but went out with Pogo for 20. So that was the end of the game. Pretty good game, I thought. And yeah, hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.